Right now at noon, new legal challenges to a billion-dollar media merger. Why several states are fighting Nextstar's purchase of Tegna. Plus, a civil rights leader's legacy tainted by allegations of decades of sexual abuse. What we know about the claims against Cesar Chavez. Also, as Oregon's largest school district looks to close a budget gap, leaders are reportedly considering adjusting the end of the school year. And later, March Madness kicks off. We hear from fans who descended on Moda Center ahead of the first round. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. Our top story at noon, 8 state attorneys general are suing to stop Nextstar's $6.2 billion acquisition of Tegna, the company that owns KGW. And new at noon, DirecTV has filed its own lawsuit accusing the companies of violating antitrust laws. The first suit, led by California and joined by Oregon, New York, Colorado, Illinois, North Carolina, and Virginia, urges the Justice Department and FCC to block the merger. California Attorney General Rob Bonta argues the deal is illegal and would mean higher pay TV prices, job losses, and less competition in local news. While Nextstar and Tegna say combining the companies would expand local coverage, strengthen their digital offerings, and create more advertising opportunities.
Mega mergers in broadcast media are especially dangerous because they result in fewer voices reporting on what's happening in our communities.
President Donald Trump has publicly backed the merger, and FCC Chair Brendan Carr has also signaled support, even though the combined company would need a waiver or change to current rules that cap any one broadcaster's reach at 39% of U.S. TV homes. Nextstar owns or partners with more than 200 stations in 116 markets, including KOIN here in Portland, and also operates the CW and News Nation, while Tegna owns 64 stations across 51 markets. We'll continue to follow this lawsuit and bring you any new developments. Well, some sad news here at KGW. Chaz Briggs, an independent videographer who worked with all the major news stations in town, including KGW, has died unexpectedly. If you watch our channel, you've likely seen his work many times over the years. Chaz often worked overnight hours, so if something like a fire or crash happened at 2 or 3 in the morning, well, he was there, shooting the video that you would see on our Sunrise show and other newscasts throughout the day. Many of our producers, editors, and reporters, myself included, worked closely with Chaz throughout the years. We got to know him, not just as a hard worker during difficult hours, but also as a great human being. His family tells us he died in his sleep unexpectedly. They also say if anybody out there wants to make a donation in his honor, to please give to your local animal shelter. They say he would have loved that. Chaz Briggs was 65 years old. We're going to switch gears now and turn to weather with a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam. Some clouds in the sky as we expect to see another pretty warm day ahead of us. Let's check it all out with meteorologist Rod Hill. He's up on Rick's weather deck for us. Hey, Rod.
Yeah, I'm wearing a suit jacket, but not a coat, right? So it's pretty comfortable outside as we continue to be in this warm weather pattern. We're on the northern periphery of the record heat that's been making news in parts of California and down into Arizona. Here locally, we hit 81 degrees over in Redmond in Central Oregon yesterday, one of the more impressively high temperatures. We are up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. If I look up to the north toward Vancouver, the deck definitely gets lower, and that's going to continue to be our best chance to get even a sprinkle today. Otherwise, mainly dry weather, just cloudy skies over the city. Here's radar. We've been watching what's already been over the past 24 hours, almost a half of an inch of rain fall up in Astoria. And you can see Longview and Kelso over the last 3 hours getting clipped with a touch of light rain. But so far, it's been holding north of Portland, and that may continue to be the case. Again, I'm saying we could just get a shower. You see we're all dry in Clark County up through Battleground, Salmon Creek area, and on the other side of the river over through St. Helens. It is kind of foggy right now with light rain in the area falling from the Astoria column camera. 54 degrees there. Oh my goodness, the cherry blossoms are just stunning along the Capitol Mall. And it's a thinner cloud deck when you drop down towards Salem, so partly sunny skies and 66 degrees. A thicker cloud cover and 5 degrees cooler here in Portland at 61. Again, maybe here in the Rose City we get a sprinkle this afternoon, Otherwise, we'll be dry, and it makes sense to me that these temperatures are correct, getting up to about 65, 66 for you this afternoon. I mean, the fact that we're 66 and it's not sunny, Tim, is pretty impressive for this final day of winter. Your complete forecast for spring tomorrow, of course, coming up.
Yeah, it is. All right, Rod, thanks a lot. Well, new at noon, the victim at the center of a homicide investigation in the Hazelwood neighborhood has died of his injuries. Portland police say 40-year-old Nicholas Teagarden died Tuesday after he was shot last week on East Burnside near 148th. Police have not released any information about a shooter, but any witnesses who haven't reached out yet are urged to contact them. And developing today, new allegations have come out against a Latino civil rights icon years after his death. The New York Times first reported on two women who say they were 12 and 13 when Cesar Chavez groomed and assaulted them. Chavez allegedly spent decades sexually assaulting and abusing women and girls. Longtime labor leader Dolores Huerta, who worked alongside Chavez, says he forced her to have sex with him against her will. Chavez, who died more than 3 decades ago, was well known for helping highlight the struggles of field workers in the 1960s. Huerta, who is now 96 years old, says she stayed silent for years because she didn't want to hurt the farm worker movement. Now across the country, including here in Portland, there's growing concern over public spaces like schools, streets, and parks named in honor of Chavez. Many community members want a name change as soon as possible, some saying just seeing the name is upsetting. A city spokesperson says Mayor Keith Wilson is open to conversations about a potential name change and that process would be community-driven. One neighbor told KGW schools like Cesar Chavez Elementary are meant to represent the community and its children and believes the district should act now to change the name.
You're kind of like, wow, how did this take so long? But then look at everything else that's taken so long, the Me Too movement and everything else. And when this stuff gets out, it's good that it gets out and it is corrected, like in a city like Portland.
Per city code, one of the first steps would require a petition with 2,500 signatures. Portland Public Schools says it's processing the recent news, noting any school renaming would include community engagement and a board vote. In education news, Oregon's biggest school district may end the school year a few days early. Class could end in Portland Public Schools on June 5th as the district tries to make up for a budget deficit. PPS teachers have reportedly been asked to take 4 full furlough days as a result. Negotiations are happening as the district's mid-year budget gap has grown to $14 million. It is also facing another $50 million deficit next school year. We spoke to PPS administrators about the deficit earlier this month. They tell us they are trying to reach an agreement as soon as possible.
Really trying to make sure that we come to an agreement as soon as possible so that we can give as much lead time to our families and community if there is going to be an interruption.
Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Armstrong says central office leaders will take 5 furlough days. Armstrong will take 6. Still, Portland's teachers union says their trust in the district's ability to navigate finances is broken and says the union will be doing a forensic analysis of the budget. Well, a big step forward for a long-awaited project in North Portland. The city has revealed the final design for a new aquatic center that's meant to serve tens of thousands of people in the community. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson shows us what's planned and when construction could begin.
Well, this is a project that's been in the works since the winter of 2022, and now the community gets a chance to see what the final design will look like for the North Portland Aquatic Center. Parks and Rec leaders say the indoor facility will be built at Northgate Park, which will remain in place with its soccer field, tennis courts, and paved pathways. The center will include 2 pool sites, one with a tubular slide, lazy river, and hot tub access, and the other will be for competitions. The project cost just over $91 million, including $15 million for state lottery funds, and it will be open year-round. And Parks and Rec officials tell me they were intentional in routing the facility in North Portland because it's going to serve communities that need access to swimming.
This center will serve approximately projecting about 70,000 people across North Portland. And that includes about a quarter of those are Black people, Indigenous people, people of color, and then about 14% are people living with low income below the poverty line. So I'd say a lot of excitement. People are asking, can we get it done sooner? We want to use this pool.
Now, groundbreaking is expected for the fall of 2027 with construction taking about 2 years to complete. Back to you.